Salute and welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, where you'll enjoy an entertaining short story from acclaimed humor columnist Rob Kreider. Storytime is the family portion of the show. Then we move on from the stories to the cocktails. This is where the alcohol and the not safe for work portion of the show takes over, as Rob and his wife /editor /muse Sara Kreider partake in some adult beverages and provide you with a behind the scenes recap of what really inspired the original story. Put your feet up, relax, and enjoy yourself a round of stories and cocktails. Cheers.
The story's called Dog is My Co-Pilot by Rob Kreider. Hey, that's me. My wife treats our dog like it's a human being, a short, furry human being who speaks the King's English. My wife has in-depth conversations with the dog, and I've even heard her ask the dog metaphorical questions. The dog, being a dog of course, never responds to any of these inquiries. The dog simply sits underneath my wife in the kitchen, hoping she will accidentally drop some food, some human food, the good stuff. My wife accidentally drops a lot of human food in the kitchen now that we own a doggy. These accidental drops are adding quite a bit of pounds to our little pooch. These added pounds concern me because we don't have canine medical insurance, and I don't think I can afford cash payments to treat doggy diabetes. Regardless of my dietary concerns for our dog, my wife continues to accidentally feed the dog. She also asks our dog if it wants the hallway light left on at night, so it can walk to the kitchen for a late night snack because, hey, everybody likes a fourth meal. I treat the dog like a dog. I understand the dog doesn't speak English. It only speaks belly rubs. When I come home from work, I don't ask the dog how its day was. I already know what the dog did all day. It ate food, pooped in the backyard, barked at the mailman, barked at the gardener, barked at the pest control guy, licked its ass, and then took a nap. Eventually, after its extremely busy schedule, the dog sat by the front door waiting for me to get home, hoping I would accidentally drop some food. The difference between my wife and me is when I drop food, it's truly accidental. It turns out I'm just a sloppy eater. The dog knows this about me and seats herself strategically below me during every meal. It doesn't make me feel like the dog loves me. It makes me feel insecure about my ability to not let food roll down my shirt. I'm rethinking about eating out in public. There is no question, obviously my wife loves our dog. And for that reason, anytime I'm about to take our little dog out for a walk, I get a long list of do's and don'ts because, in my wife's opinion, I can't be trusted with the safety of our pet. Don't let her feet get too hot on the sidewalk, or don't let her off the leash, a car could hit her, and take some bottled water, don't let her drink any water from the gutter. I successfully raised 2 kids without letting either one of them drink out of the gutter or get hit by a car. I think I can handle safely walking the dog around the block. And since the dog spends most of the day licking her own butt, I think she can digest a little gutter water without any issue. As much as it irks me when my wife continues to give me a list of how to properly take care of her dog and not our dog, admittedly, on occasion, I have done things which have led to her dog being in some unfortunate predicaments. Like the time I tried to let the dog ride in my bicycle basket, and the dog jumped out of the basket and was hanging from the leash by her neck at 15 miles an hour. That wasn't awesome. My wife saw the whole thing and hasn't let me forget it since. The dog turned out fine, but since then she does bark at any bicycle anytime one rides by. Could just be a coincidence. Recently, I convinced my wife to let me take our dog camping in our RV. My wife wasn't going on the trip, and so she was worried about the safety of her dog. After a lot of lectures on dog safety, more warnings, rules, and admonitions, I was allowed to take the dog with me. During the camping trip, my daughter, the dog, and I hung out while I cooked some good old-fashioned Santa Maria-style barbecue tri-tip. I probably cooked about 10 pounds of tri-tip, spreading the tasty barbecue smoke around the campground. The meat smelled so good, in fact, a gentleman camping nearby asked me if I wanted to trade some of his local craft beer for some of my barbecued meat. Of course I wanted to do that. Beer, barbecue, and new friends? Camping doesn't get any better than that. I grabbed some meat from my neighbor and headed next door. I left the dog inside the RV just for a minute. I also left a foil tray with the rest of the cooked tri-tip on the table of the RV, just for a minute. An hour and 3 craft beers later, I headed back to my RV to use the bathroom. That's when I found the dog sitting on the ground looking very guilty. I glanced at the table and saw that all of the meat was gone. 10 pounds of tri-tip devoured by a 20-pound lapdog. The dog looked bloated and unhappy. This wasn't good. I knew my wife, whom I love, was going to blame me for the whole thing, and rightfully so. Then I remembered, the dog doesn't speak English. Therefore, the dog couldn't tell my wife what happened. It would be our little secret. Nobody would know, and the only real tragedy of the incident was the fact that there was no more tri-tip to eat or trade beer for. Then karma stopped by my campsite. Karma came in the form of explosive doggy diarrhea all over the inside of the RV. The floor, the walls, the side of the refrigerator, nothing was safe. Camping trips are supposed to be all about relaxing and taking it easy. There's nothing relaxing about cleaning up 10 pounds of canine diarrhea, especially when you're drunk and hungry. While I was busy carefully wiping down every inch of the RV so my wife wouldn't find out anything happened, my daughter was busy texting her mom to tell her how I made their dog sick when I let it eat 10 pounds of tri-tip. Busted. By the way, no animals were harmed in the story. However, 3 rolls of toilet paper lost their lives.
Okay, folks, it's time to pop that top and let's get to those cocktails.
All right, this is the drunken portion of Stories and Cocktails. Here we are. This story is called Dog is My Co-Pilot, published in The Wheel, January 2021. Oh, nice, Mrs. Kreider.
Oh, I'm going to need another beer after this story.
Yes, well, this story involves your
My
rescue dog.
Yes. My dog.
Yes.
I opened the beer and I'm like, I don't even know if I can drink it. Like, am I supposed to drink cocktails and
You're still angry about it.
talk lightheartedly about how you almost
What
killed
is
my dog?
funny about me almost killing your dog?
Yeah, you almost killed my dog, my Betty.
Betty,
My
our
Betty.
rescue dog. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, because we
Yes.
did rescue her.
So our daughter, who is a stand-up comedian, Addie Kreider, she uses that in her routine. You know, who likes dogs? Have a rescue dog.
I just
Thank
hit
you.
the mic with my beer can.
And that beer can is a Blue Moon Light Sky.
Oh yeah, these are like the blue moon. What is the blue moon?
95 calories.
Yeah, what do they make?
Citrus sweet.
What do they make? What's the regular one that they make? I guess just like a regular blue moon. No, it's not called a blue moon. This is the light one.
So we'll just say right now, we're experts in drinking. We're not experts in the things we drink. So we're going to say dumb things a lot about, like, I don't know what the fuck this is. And I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? It gets me shit-faced and we talk trash.
So what had
good.
happened was it was Christmas time, and we had
Oh, I'm feeling festive.
we had like
The lights are up. It's cold out.
We had a shitload of beers in our refrigerator. Like, you know how you get like
Shocking.
you know how like someone gifts you like the Christmas is like the beers around the world.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and in this case, the
That
someone
24 pack you'll never fucking drink.
well, and then in this case, the someone was me, and I gave it to you.
Yeah,
and
thanks.
so we had 24 fucking beers in our refrigerator, and then we just had like
For the record, you gave me 24 beers for Christmas, and then you said, January 1st, you can't drink anymore.
well, yeah. So we
a
have
lot of
like
pressure.
we have 24 random beers in our fridge. Plus, we just had like it's just Christmas, it's festive. Like people come over, they bring beers, they take beers, they leave beers, whatever.
Yep.
So before we got in the car to come to Pismo,
Where we are right now.
where we are right
We're
now,
on the road,
I
podcasting
just-
on the road.
I just grabbed a bunch of beers and stuck them in this ice chest, and it was really like I'm not gonna drink these. Like I'm not gonna sit in the hotel room and drink these. We're gonna go out to bars, and now I'm drinking them. So, yes, I am having the Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Wheat Ale, 95 calories.
In the thin can.
It's actually super fucking tasty.
Is that still 12 ounces?
Yeah,
It's just thin but tall.
yeah. I should drink these though.
Yeah, you should.
No, you know what? These came from a bike and brew. They didn't even come
Ooh.
from. This was
Bike and Brew. For those who don't know, we host a series of bicycle rides through Fresno, California, going from brewery to brewery to bar to bar. It's all super fun. And if you want to join us, come on out.
yeah.
For we have a Facebook page for that. It's called.
Someone left this in my basket, like a little gift. to
Oh,
me.
I know who did that.
Cindy and Jill.
Yes.
Yes. And I was like, I cannot drink any more
Cindy and
beer
Jill,
and
probably
ride
one
my
of the
bike.
best bike and brew couples because they always come super prepared. Like
Oh,
their
yeah.
bikes are just loaded up with like cold beers and like whatever you need. Like they're just very supportive and so big fans of us. What is your Facebook page again? I forgot the name of it. Shame on me.
Booze Cruise Enthusiasts.
Yeah. Friend us. Come on out and ride some bikes.
Yeah, and leave me be like Cindy and Jill.
Yep.
And when you're like, I've had my fun, I gotta bounce. When you want to be responsible and still ride home, probably take me with you so that I don't fall on my bike later. But if you don't do that, then at least leave me a Blue Moon Light Sky in my basket.
A Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Sweet.
And then months later, I'll be sitting in Pismo and I'll be like, how the fuck did I get this beer? Why was this in my refrigerator? And I'll drink it.
So it turns out back in the day,
'Cause I'm
we used
drinking
to
it.
have people that came to our house for races.
Oh God,
And
now it's me.
We call them
I'm the beer garbage disposal. That's me.
My
now.
brother and John Limbarger
Oh, yeah.
would come to our house and they would drink the whatever fucking beer just sat in the fridge like just forever. The shittiest fucking Christmas beers, they would just destroy them before a race weekend. Now you have morphed yourself, Mrs. Kreider, into the beer garbage disposal.
I know. Also,
I mean, how many temperature changes do you think this went through? It sat in a fucking ice basket for a bunch of riding bikes. It was probably in the garage. Then it ended up in the cooler today. We drove to a bunch of places today, and now it hits the fridge here for 15 minutes. You're popping it like it's fucking fresh as shit.
It is fucking delicious. Dude. I don't know if the shit has a born on date, but it is. I mean, I cannot say enough nice things about the Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Wheat. It's
I'm
almost
sticking with the Barrel House cold brew because I need a little caffeine in my beer to keep things rolling tonight.
I mean, really, they should be paying me. It's only 3.6 carbs, 95 calories. The Blue Moon.
What's the
Light
ABV on
Sky
that? How much alcohol
Sweet.
is in that?
4.0.
Well, that's pretty safe. That's a good bike and brew beer.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, shit. Double Nickel 9 IPA from Tad Claus Brewing is 10.9%.
Maybe that's
ABV.
why Cindy and Jill are good bike and brewers. That's why
They're keeping it light.
they're keeping it light, and they're like,
It's in the
"We gotta
name,
go."
Light Sky.
Yeah. So, anyways, what I just noticed, and I know I'm
What
not
happened
supposed to do
is-
this, but this is our third ever podcast episode, and it's also the shout out episode. Shout out,
Shout
to Cindy.
out.
Shout out to
You know, I'm
Jill.
going to keep it in there.
Shout out
This
to
can be the third ever
John.
episode. Let's do it.
Shout out to your brother, the original, the OG beer garbage
disposal.
disposals. Hey, you know what, John? God bless him. Cheers to him. He's not drinking anymore. I had to pick up the fucking slack. So
Yeah, no, John is not. We just went to Bend, Oregon with John and went to like how many breweries do we bring him to? It's pretty unfair. The man is an alcoholic. He's sworn off drinking. We drove all the way to Bend, Oregon to meet him. We're like, let's go fucking hang out in the Deschutes and drink beer all the way down the river. And let's go to all the fucking crap breweries. And there he's like, yeah, cool. I'm just going to drink this orange juice and shit because I don't drink beers. But good to see you, Kreiders. Thanks for coming to town, motherfuckers.
Yeah, no, that's us. Good friends.
Good friends.
Okay, wait. If I'm the new beer garbage disposal, is my future that I'm dry? That I am in Bend, Oregon, floating the fucking Deschutes River, sober? Is that my future?
There may be a dry future.
Am
for
I
you,
an
but
alcoholic
we won't be
and
going to Bend. I mean, we're gonna curve our friggin' vacations around non-drinking places. Bend is a drinking locale.
I have to float the Deschutes once a year, or else I'll die.
Yeah. If nobody has gone to Bend,
Bend, Oregon.
and you get on an inner tube and you float the Deschutes by the most beautiful homes on the most beautiful river, and they pick you up on a bus and they drag you back to the finish, it's so easy. They actually manually they grab your tube out of the water and put it on a trailer for you. You don't have to do shit.
See, he's like a typical man, and so he's like getting into all of the technical details, and I'm just telling you.
Because I didn't have to inflate tubes and
It's-
transport tubes. I just got on a tube, I
It's
drank, and
your
someone
soul.
took care of it.
It's your soul. If you want to infuse your soul with just goodness and happiness, like you have to float the Deschutes. And that's why I have to float the Deschutes once a year, or
you'll
else
die.
I'll die.
Now, I will
I
say
need
that
it.
the Deschutes
There's magical powers.
It's chilly. When you sit
in-
your butt in that tube and you put your nuts in that frosty water, there's a moment of, oh, shit,
That's part of the journey.
goddamn, it's cold.
That's
But you know
part-
what?
That's part of the journey.
Give it about 47 seconds and start drinking. There's a brewery called Deschutes Brewery, and you'll be feeling pretty good. What's this? I'm wearing a shirt actually from that trip. What am I wearing?
Yeah, Crux Fermentation Project.
Crux, awesome. They have a huge outdoor section, food trucks, like bands and like families. Like I was really digging the vibe in Bend, Oregon. We were really into it.
Yeah, no, we're ready to live there.
We should go up to Bend and do a podcast.
Except for January.
Well, we don't like the snow.
Oh, yeah, no, we should do a podcast and float the river, because if I don't, I'll die.
True. We don't want you to die. I need you to stick around with me.
So maybe okay, this is the third ever. So maybe the 89th ever podcast will be coming to you live. Not live. We're never going to go live.
Bend,
Oregon.
We could do live someday. We can do that.
Ooh,
we
I
have
see.
the technology.
I don't know about
Be like the $6 million
I'm
man.
not even sure if we're going to stay together, because you tried to kill my dog. Also, you're bad with numbers. It was not 10 pounds of tri-tip. Do you know how much tri-tip 10 pounds is?
I think we've discussed this in the past. I don't understand how food works or how much shit is. I do exaggerate in my stories. Yes.
But you don't.
I said it's a 10-pound tri-tip and a 20-pound dog. I didn't mean to do hyperbole there. I just really don't know how much 10 pounds
But
is.
you don't exaggerate. That's the thing, is that people are like, oh, that's such an exaggeration. And I'm always
Yeah,
like,
all Rob's Crider stories are fucking bullshit.
And I'm always
actually,
like,
they're totally true.
But like, I kind of like to save face. I want to be like,
Yeah. He's not that much of a fucking idiot.
He is an exaggerator. Like,
Yeah,
that's
all
not
that's
true.
all those stories are bullshit.
But you and I know they're not an exaggeration. They're 100% true.
Yeah.
That's why this one, you just got it so fucking wrong. It was not 10 pounds of tri-tip. Like one tri-tip is like maybe a pound and a half, 2 pounds.
So
let's say,
she ate a pound and a half of tri-tip.
well, you guys probably made 2 tri-tips.
No, I probably just made one.
Really?
It was just me, Keith, and Addie
Okay.
at Fontana.
So let's say you got like a really big tri-tip. She maybe ate 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds.
Well, I probably cut a few
You
slices
still
off.
almost killed
You
her,
know
though.
me, I eat a lot while I'm cooking. So I definitely got a little bit of it. I would say she probably ate 1.8 pounds.
But you still almost, I mean, she's 20 pounds. She's a dog.
So I blame...
And even a human can't eat 2 pounds of fucking tri-tip without
That is a lot.
dying.
She did shit all over that motor. That was a brand new motorhome to our family.
That was a brand new rescue dog.
There's a brand new lot of things.
We rescued her to just try to kill her.
So yeah, this was 2016. The RV was brand new. We went to California Speedway Fontana for Honda Challenge Racing, and Addie was crewing for us, and me and Keith were sharing the car Saturday, Sunday. And it's like Saturday night. We're doing great. The car's not broken. We're just gonna fucking barbecue and have a good time. We're living the dream, man. No wives are there causing us fucking trouble.
You mean making sure everyone stays alive by not eating
Don't eat all the food.
1.8 pounds of
Don't
tri-tip?
park the RV this close to the building. Make sure it's level. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
We had none of those problems because you weren't there.
No, those are not problems. Those are solutions. We had none of those solutions.
Irregardless or regardless, because
They're both
everyone knows that irregardless is not correct. Regardless is the
They're
correct
both
term.
words.
The Webster's dictionary is regardless. Anyways, I don't understand where the comma goes in the sentence, but our neighbor's like, hey, man, you want to trade some beer for meat? I'm like, yeah. And then we went over just to do that simple transaction, and ultimately just like, we start bench racing and talking about, oh, bros, and the banking dude, fifth gear, fucking 100 miles an hour. And then you're just drinking, and then I'm like, oh, dude, I'll be right back. And then I realize, like, it's been an hour, and then my dog is fucking just a sausage, just burst.
Poor Betty.
So on the ride home, this diarrhea she had, well, first of all, our dog will only take a shit on the grass. We didn't know this until we went to Fontana paddock space. This is the NASCAR garages we're in.
She's civilized.
So Addie finds out, our daughter, that there's no grass in the inside paddock at Fontana, and so the dog won't poo. And the dog needs to poo 1.8 pounds, not 10 pounds of tri-tip. So Addie actually climbs under a fence and like breaks the rules and shit to like get Betty to some grass or shit. So we race on Sunday. We do great. I friggin' throw Addie on my lap. I'm sorry, Betty on my lap, and we drive home. So we're over the Grapevine, and we're coming into the big petrol station there. We always stop. And Betty's looking at me like, I gotta fucking go. So there's like a strip of just like 6 inches of grass, like between 2 pieces of parking lot. And Betty just runs out of the RV and then just fucking explosive diarrhea.
Poor
Just
baby.
shits her fucking brains out. And I felt so bad for her because I'm like, dude, she's been holding this in for how long to get here and didn't destroy, my lap or the brand new RV. And so, I felt terrible about it.
You should.
I
She's a
did.
good dog.
Oh, she's the best dog. And you haven't let me take her to the shop or races since then.
Because I don't want you to feed her 1.8 pounds of tri-tip.
Ah, man.
You know how we know she's such a good dog, though? Is because now we have a second dog. He's also a rescue. Thank you.
Thank you.
we have
It's a rescue.
2 rescue
You're welcome.
dogs. And the second one is horrible. You never know how good your first dog is until you get a horrible second dog.
Yeah, Magic sucks. And he shits all over Betty. And it's a bummer because Betty was so good and so sweet. And then we had this other dog. Because, so let's be honest. We got Betty as a companion for our daughter.
Yeah.
And then you decided that our companion dog needed
a
its own
companion.
companion. Now we
Yeah.
have 2 fucking rescue dogs.
Yeah.
And now you know that one of those dogs sucks. And then I tried to rehome it one time.
No, I love him so much.
Yeah. Well, he's a good cuddler.
He's a good cuddler.
When it's cold at night, nobody will cuddle up with you like Magic. Like, he's just like the greatest cuddler. And then in the morning, he's annoying as fuck until the sun sets again. He's annoying as shit. Now, I've offered to take Magic to the racetrack and try to kill him, but you won't let me do that. You're like,
No.
he sucks. I'm like, let me take him to the racetrack. Maybe he'll run underneath the fucking tire. You're like, no. The thing about Magic, though,
Maybe I'll feed him 2
he's
pounds of
He's
tri-tip.
a fucking survivor. Magic. He's not gonna go underneath anybody's tire. He's no fucking dummy. He knows where his bread is buttered and where all the good stuff is. You can leave the door wide open. Magic's like, I don't know what I'm going out there for. All the good shit is here. I was homeless before these motherfuckers got me.
That's true. Magic
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
grateful little fucker.
And both of our dogs, full disclosure, they're rescue dogs. They're from Fresno, California, a certain part of that city where we have found that there's a certain type of dog that is extremely slutty.
Oh yeah, no, Chihuahuas and Pit Bulls, dude. They are
Yes.
just in Fresno,
Betty is a pit Wawa,
just fucking each other.
which means that some poor Chihuahua had a rough night with a pit bull and ultimately had a child, which was our dog.
I don't know
Betty.
why it has to be dark. I mean, maybe it was awesome.
It's a size thing. This is just fucking physics, man. You're like, well, maybe I can do a little something bigger than you.
I mean,
Maybe
like,
it was a great night for that
I'm just
Chihuahua.
like,
I don't know.
oh my God, where is this podcast going? Like, the fruit is hanging so low, and I could just make so many jokes about size, but I won't do it.
Is it to save my genitalia's face?
Yes.
I'm a very average guy. I think if you took every pecker in the planet and you averaged all the peckers together, I would be an average pecker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, maybe just a little below average, but like pretty average. It's not great. It's not bad. It's just average. I'm just an average dude in pecker size.
That's what I tell my friends. I'm like, he's just an average dick, and they're like, he has an average dick, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Or I meant he's just, like your average dick. Like
Just
he's
average.
Yeah, he doesn't hit me, but he's not awesome either.
You let me have these 2 rescue dogs,
He's an average. He let
Pretty
me
good.
have them.
right?
Yeah, he let me have these 2. He let me have. That's the language he uses.
He's such a piece of shit. He's like,
he's an
I'll
average
allow
dick.
you. To
I'll
have these
allow
dogs.
you to
I'll
have
pay for
these."
these dogs. I'll pay for all the tips.
Yeah, you don't get your own identity.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
that,
yeah.
that you.
Your
could
name
be a
is
dog
Mrs.
owner.
Kreider.
Uh-huh.
You're just going to be a subset of my last name.
Average dick.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Why do you put up with this bullshit?
Because I'm still hoping for that bouquet of yarn.
Ooh, yes. There was a term used. It's called
A
a
skein.
skein of yarn. The bouquet of skein of yarn.
The
Yes.
skeins of yarn.
So listen, thank you for letting me take Betty and our daughter. You had no concern for our daughter. I mean, she could have been harmed at the racetrack. You weren't worried.
Oh, I had so many concerns about my daughter, but that is a different story titled like Umbrella Girls. My daughter's one of them, or some bullshit like that. Like that is a.
She was an umbrella girl. Yeah.
I know that's like completely different. I had lots of concerns. That's a completely different story. You
Well,
cannot.
we actually have a story called the umbrella policy.
You cannot take things I love like Betty or Addie to the racetrack, and I can and I'm not concerned. I'm concerned. Or my motorhome.
You're like, fuck it. I don't care if you're upside down on fire at fucking California Speedway, but how's the motorhome? How's my rescue dog? How's my teenage dog?
Yeah, no, I care about you too. Though. Like everything.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I mean, in that order though. Like our daughter, Betty, the motorhome, your race car, because I think I can get some money for that. And
Yeah.
then, how are you?
That sounds reasonable.
How are you?
Well, I took out a motorsports inclusion life insurance policy. So dead, I'm worth more to you really than living. So
Well, when I say like, how are you? I'm like, are you dead? Because I get money for that. Like,
well, I do have a DNR when I race. It's like,
like
they're like, hey, Rob, it's just a dislocated pinky. I'm like, kill me. And my wife was not going to go to the hospital and pick me up. She gets $1 million if I fucking die. I need you to kill me.
that's dark. That is dark.
I'm
But
looking out for you, baby.
yeah, but I mean, like, if you lose an arm, I don't get anything.
Kill me.
I just get a one-armed husband
With an average dick.
with an average dick. He's an average dick with
With
an
one
average
arm.
dick
Exactly.
with one arm. I mean, I'll be like,
I hope it's my left arm. As
is
a
it
right,
his right or his
right-handy,
left? I
I
was just
still
gonna
want to
say
tug on
that.
my average dick with my preferred hand, so I hope I lose my left arm.
Oh, and I wasn't even thinking about you tugging on your dick. I was thinking more about, your hand with me. I'm not that vulgar to, talk about.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that.
Or the
But,
beatbox.
but I'm just saying. That's what I was thinking about.
Yes. Don't lose any digits.
So anyways, I'm always worried when you go to the racetrack about everyone.
Yeah,
But if we want to talk about Addie,
we do.
that's a different podcast.
So it looks like you're tilting that light sky to the back, which means you're almost out of beers, which means we're probably out of time on this segment. So deuces. We're out.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bitches.
Hold on, everybody. It's not last call yet. We have another story on this episode. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I get another round?
If you enjoy hearing Rob Kreider's different humor columns here on the Stories and Cocktails podcast, then I promise you will love his novel, Cadet Blues. Cadet Blues is Rob's hilarious tell-all about desperately trying to survive the shock and awe boot camp-style training at the California Highway Patrol Academy. People from all different walks of life have come to love this book because Cadet Blues is simply a crazy good read. Heartfelt, inspiring, and damn funny. It's available in paperback through Amazon, eBay, or cadetblues.com, where you can get free shipping and a personalized autographed book. Or you can download a digital copy of Cadet Blues from Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble Nook, or Apple iBooks. Do yourself a favor and check out the novel, Cadet Blues.
Okay, folks, we have one drink down the gullet, which means we need to get our next one on deck. Time to enjoy the second story. Bartender!
The story's called The Man of Steel by Rob Kreider. Hey, that's me. I'm not a very limber person. Most people do toe touches. I can do knee touches. Well, the top part of the knee, if it's a good day. My back is about as flexible as a piece of steel on a very cold day. To get myself in a better shape, preferably any shape other than standing up straight, I decided to go to the gym. Well, to be honest, I didn't really decide to join a gym. My wife, whom I love, thought it would be a good idea. That meant I thought it was a good idea too. My wife started pushing the gym membership pretty hard after watching me try to bend over to put on a pair of socks. I could barely do it. She was seeing a grim future for the two of us. A few more months of my lack of flexibility, and I would be asking her to put on my shoes and socks for me. She just finished doing that for 2 kids a few years prior. She wasn't looking to get back into the putting on shoes and socks business. And who could blame her for not wanting to touch my feet? Feet are gross! And a guy who can barely touch his own feet to put on socks probably doesn't get down there often enough with soap or toenail clippers. I'm deeply sorry to those of you who are hearing this while eating. Joining a gym was a tough decision for me because I had always saw fitness clubs as a ridiculous enterprise. I live 3 miles from the gym. If I wanted to go there and work out, instead of driving there to walk on a treadmill, I should just run there, touch the front door, and then run back to my house. I would have run 6 miles and saved $50 a month. I would also have been seen in the parking lot of the gym, which seems to be why a lot of people actually go to the gym, to wear makeup, expensive workout clothes, and be seen in the gym parking lot. On my wife's request, I headed to the gym and met Danny and Kaylee. Apparently, in order to work at the gym, you have to be 21, female, and cute, and your name has to end with an I. Danny and Kaylee gave me the grand tour of the gym, then started the hard sell for club membership. I didn't need to be sold. I had already been told by Mrs. Kreider to get a gym membership. And I do what I'm supposed to, because I like harmony in the home. I explained to Danny and Kaylee the deal. Unless they wanted to move into my house and put on my shoes and socks for me, it was their job to make me more flexible. Neither one of them was interested in a residency where they replaced Mrs. Kreider, so they both agreed that what I needed was a yoga class. They signed me up for my first class. I was supposed to come back the following day at 10 a.m. Like most people who join a gym, I decided not to go. However, I saw on the schedule there was another yoga class at 7 p.m., which was a lot better for my schedule. I had an appointment with a breakfast burrito at 10 a.m., and I couldn't break it. Cut to 7:01 p.m., and the soft sounds of wood flutes. Indian music was in the air as the instructor in the front of the room was talking us through our first few poses. Yes, her name also ended with an I, Carly. Looking around the room, I realized I was the only one who wasn't wearing yoga pants, probably because I was the only overweight male in the room. Carly wanted us to start off by relaxing and had us sit with our legs crossed. I couldn't do the first pose, and I don't even think it was actually an official yoga pose. Carly just wanted us to sit there, relax, and breathe. I was squatting there, panting and struggling, because I was out of breath just trying to sit Indian style. Thankfully, Carly had us move into something called child's pose. I didn't know what a child's pose was. A kid sitting in the corner, marking up the walls with crayons? I was yoga ignorant. I didn't realize I was supposed to have studied the ancient art of yoga prior to the class. I was hoping that the gym instructors would teach me what I needed to know. What was I paying Danny, Kaylee, and Carly for? I spent the next hour of my life putting my body into positions I thought were impossible. And it turns out I was right. The positions were completely impossible for me. I stumbled, I fell down, I hurt my knee, I was out of breath. I wasn't exactly relaxing, and I certainly didn't appear coordinated or flexible. Carly had us in the down dog for what felt like forever. I was sweating profusely and trying not to vomit. Every vein in my head was aching. And then Carly said, "Clear your mind. Take 2 breaths. Feel yourself relax." How can I clear my mind when I thought I was dying? All I could think about was an ambulance. During the session, I wondered, why is it called yoga? It should be called exactly what it looks like. Face down, butt up. That was all I did for an hour. Grind my face into a smelly mat and hold my fat ass in the air. Finally, after the hour of torture was up, Carly directed us to do my favorite pose when she said, lie flat on your back, relax your head, your neck, your chest, your arms, your core, your hips, your thighs, your shins, your toes, and let yourself go. This was the best part. I felt myself melting into the mat. I was about to drift off to a deep sleep when Carly rudely interrupted my moment of zen by flipping on the lights and saying, okay, get out. They need the room for Zumba. The next day, every single muscle in my core hurt. I had pains in my stomach I didn't even know were possible. But I leaned down to tie my shoes, and it was like magic. I could do it without any problems. Now when people ask me if I can touch my toes, I can actually touch the bottom part of my knees. Yoga is awesome. Namaste. By the way, the following week, I pulled a hammy trying to go from a child's pose to full warrior.
Okay, patrons, you've been to this bar before. You know it's cocktail hour again. Are we doing shots or what?
Hey, welcome to another episode of Stories and Cocktails, coming to you live on tape from Sacramento, California. We are in the Embassy Suites. We have just enjoyed the free happy hour, cocktail hour, and your first drink you didn't love, but you faked it till you made it. You kept pouring water in it. I took a taste of it. I was like, whoa, that's not for me.
No drink left behind.
And full disclosure, you powered it down and you went back for a new drink. So
Well, yeah,
what was the first one called? It was like
it was the manager special.
they called it Purple Haze. Yeah.
And so this is how they got me. I said, what's in the Purple Haze? And then they listed like all of the alcohols. They were like vodka, gin, something liqueur, something purple. And I stopped listening. I was like, oh, you put all of the alcohols in there. And then I was drinking it and I was like, fuck, I should have kept listening, because I think they also listed sweet and sour and lemonade. So it was pretty much just
all the alcohol and all the sugar.
Yeah, it was sweet and sour and lemonade, and then like a drop of gin and a drop of vodka and a drop of liqueur. Although I shouldn't say a drop, because I'm pretty buzzed.
Nice. Yeah, you're looking good.
But it was just good. It was so sweet.
They gave me a ranch water, and it was cool. When I go to order ranch waters, sometimes I get a strange look on people's faces, but I was like, hey, can I just get a tequila club soda with a little bit of lime? She goes, you want ranch water? I go, I do. Oh my gosh, you know what ranch water is? Great. She's like, oh, I totally know what it is. I'm into it. So she starts to make it for me, and she grabs the house tequila. It was like the most probably piss yellow tequila I've seen in a long time.
It's well drinks down there for free.
I don't know why they call it well. It's not very good.
Oh, it wasn't very well?
So she gave me a lot of well tequila.
She gave you unhealthy tequila?
Yeah, then she didn't give me, I like just regular lime juice, like squeeze from a lime. She gave me like sweetened bottled lime juice, a splash of club soda. But she did throw the tahini on it. So I was like, well, props for tahini. So the thing about tahini is if you just lick the tahini, it does help the well tequila, which we got to rename that. Well, it's not well. So anyway, so I'm still licking. I'm about halfway or about 50% around the tahini rim here. Okay,
back when we were in college, I'm gonna go off on a tangent before you even introduce the story. Do you want to introduce the story before I talk about TAs in college?
Oh, yeah, let's get to it. Story's called The Man of Steel, published May 6, 2014, Santa Maria Sun. It's about yoga. Go to college.
Okay, so back in college.
There we were. Cal Poly. Feeling good, looking good, 1994.
T.O. Alberto's. And I've just always called it TA's Burritos. And it turns out it wasn't like burritos wasn't in the name. Like they actually.
TA's wasn't the name. It was actually called T.O.
Alberto's. Yeah, but we called it TA's.
Yeah, we all did.
For T.O.
Alberto's. Kids said, hey, you want to go to TA's?
But we called it TA's Burritos, as if all they sold was. I think I ate there for like 5 years before I realized, like, oh my God, they have like a full menu. They have tacos.
First of all, you didn't go to college for 5 years. You left there shortly after you arrived.
Yeah, no, and then I came back to visit.
You came back occasionally. Kids. Yeah, exactly.
With our kids, and
because
it was
like you didn't get a college degree, you got a kid.
Our kid was like 5, and he was like, "Why do you call it TA's Burritos when there's like tacos and there's
our son's
tostados?"
It's just T.O. Alberto's.
So we would go there, and we all ordered the exact same burrito, and it was called the veggie burrito, and it was beans and rice, cheese, cilantro and onions, and salsa.
Yeah,
that was it.
I didn't even get the cilantro and onions.
Right. Okay. So you used to order it. You used to think that you were like. I
was mind melding with the guys.
You were mind melding the guys.
English.
They didn't speak English, and
I didn't speak any Spanish.
So we would go in there.
Alberto.
We would go in there like about 10 college kids deep to TA's TA's
It's full of
burritos,
cash.
and we would all order the same thing: veggie burrito, veggie burrito, veggie
10
burrito,
white
veggie
kids
burritos.
ordering veggie burritos.
And then you would go in there and you would go. And they kind of had like a Subway setup, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you could watch them make
Before
it.
Subway.
So we all just said TA's burrito or, veggie burrito. And we didn't watch them make it. We just stood there. They made it. But you would go in and you would go. Beans, cheese, rice, salsa.
Yeah.
We would,
I was trying to emphasize
Right.
that I wanted to put more.
so
in
we
my
always looked at you like, what is wrong with you? Like, they know what goes in the burrito. Like, we all ordered veggie burritos. We're all getting the same fucking thing. We're all standing here socializing with each other. You're over there managing Alberto and his Tio, and you're just like, beans, cheese, rice, salsa. Anyways, that's how you now order your ranch platters. You go. You go. Tequila. What do you have? And then like whatever they have, they list. They go. Oh, we have 818. We have Cazadores. We have I don't know what are some.
Casamigos,
Casamigos.
Casa de Oro, Don Julio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So then
you
you're
name
like, any Casa will do.
No Patron.
Blanco. and then
Reposado.
and then you go. Yeah. Club soda. Lime. Fresh squeezed lime juice. Like just a little bit.
Tahine rim.
A little bit, just a little bit of fresh squeezed lime juice, like
No sweetened lime juice. Yeah.
and like the whole entire bar stops, and they're just like, what is wrong with this guy?
Just
Like,
say ranch water, dickhead.
is he on the spectrum? Like, is he ordering challenged? I'm like, yeah, no. He thinks that if he emphasizes certain words,
You get more of it.
that you will get more of it.
I'm basically, I don't want to tell them how to do their job. I try to use this trick where I use inflection in my voice to encourage them to give me more sweetened lime juice or more cheese and salsa. And it was pretty effective, actually.
I don't think so. I don't
So,
think it is.
Tom, my roommate, and I, we used to bring like a couple nickels. This is old school shit. And like right when we'd say cheese, we would just like drop them in the tip bar. I'm like, cheese? And like clack, clack, like a couple of nickels from that tip bar. Lots of cheese. So we started-
Nickels.
Maybe quarters.
I hope it was quarters.
Maybe dimes. I mean, this was 1994, dude.
No, I understand that money had more value in.
Listen, I'm a big
1994,
tipper.
but I still hope it was.
But
Quarters.
I was a college student. I was spending my parents' money. I had no fucking money.
Well, that's true, but still, I hope it was like a little bit more quarters.
I don't think it was. I don't want to front like I was throwing fucking just dropping change and shit, making it rain in there. I was like, a couple nickels for you.
So
Can I
we
get
were
some more cheese.
okay. So when I said I was 5 years in before I realized they weren't TA's burritos, I lied. I was about 5 months in. So we were eating TA's burritos for about 5 months. That was just enough time for me to gain the freshman 15, and 100%, all 15 pounds were TA's burritos. Like
Yeah.
they really were.
Yeah.
When I first got to college, I could eat half of a TA's
You
burrito.
gained it before Christmas, I think, because you came home for Christmas. Your mom like body shamed you.
Well, if body shaming is, I'm going to give you your Christmas presents earlier so that you have clothes to fit. And by the way, everything you got for Christmas was fatter, bigger clothes because you don't fucking fit the clothes that you packed to go to college. If that's what body shaming is, 100% she did that. I got all of my Christmas jeans earlier, and they were all about 2 sizes larger than what I wore when I
So your
graduated
mom
from
was just
high
like,
school.
"Welcome home, honey. You're fat."
Yeah. So all 15 pounds were TA's burritos. Like, I'm not exaggerating.
No, this
TA's.
is not exaggerating part of the show. This is
Yeah.
the truth part of the show.
It was TA's. So then we're about 5 months in and 15 pounds into TA's burritos. We're just a bunch of white kids because San Luis Obispo only lets white kids in.
Yes.
And we're just eating TA's burritos. And then my friends from Fresno came to visit. And my friend Caesar comes. And Caesar speaks Spanish. And he's Hispanic. And I
Ace
hey.
Brown.
And I say, hey, you guys, like friends from Fresno, I'm gonna take you guys to the greatest place you've
This
ever
is
been
the
in your
greatest
lives.
Mexican restaurant ever. They're like, we're from Fresno. Probably not the
Or
case.
I say, we're gonna go to TA's Burritos, right? So we get there, and I'm like, you guys,
What
it's-
you want is the veggie.
Yeah, I go. It's hard to handle here, or it's hard to order here because they don't speak English, and it's just if we just say veggie burrito, it's gonna be really good. Like I promise you. Like everybody just
We
get,
have navigated this much. We know to say veggie burrito, and if you tip at the right time, you get extra cheese.
I'm like, hey, you guys, I know you guys have been in Fresno, but see, I've been at Cal Polytechnic University.
Yeah. It's
for
kind of a big
5
deal.
months.
Hard to get in. We're super smart kids. You guys are still going to junior college back in Fresno, so listen, take my lead on this.
I have learned how to order from this place. So I say, veggie burrito. And I look at my white friend Angela. I'm like, she wants a veggie burrito also. Then Caesar comes up to the counter and he starts speaking Spanish. And he's like actually looking at the menu, and it's like he's like looking up. He's like, I'll take but however you say that in Spanish, and he's like saying a bunch of Spanish words, and he's like looking at something. I'm like, what are you looking at?
What the fuck is he doing?
Look down here at the fucking cheese and say cheese. Like they put
You
the
say
cheese in.
cheese.
You look at it.
Cheese.
You point. You're like more of that.
Point and you say cheese and you nod your head. Cheese, cheese, cheese.
And you get like more onions and
We didn't even know the word queso at the time.
No.
Like, cheese, cheese, cheese.
But he's like looking up, and it's like I see like I follow his line of sight, and I'm like, oh, fuck, there's a menu, and he's like ordering from the menu.
It was actually
Now,
massive.
They hand
I thought
me,
they only had one thing.
They hand me what they've been handing me for 5 months. They just hand me this foil wrapped burrito, like no plate,
He's like,
no tray.
here's an extra size of jeans.
Yeah, here's a foil wrapped burrito. Go home and get some bigger jeans. No forks, like no,
Nothing.
Right. So then all of a sudden, like Caesar gets like a number. I'm like, what?
They don't even do that here.
Yeah. And then like he's like telling me like, oh, we're gonna wait a minute for my order or whatever. And then it's just like they bring out like it's like a tray and plates. It's like an enchilada combo and a tostada
Fucking
and
street tacos.
It's like the most delicious layout I've ever seen in my life. It's just like, oh, holy shit, what is like you unlocked the secret
he's like,
code.
that must be just what they do for Hispanic people who show up here. That's
Yeah.
That's like the inside.
And he's
baseball
just
Mexican
like,
order.
you dumb racist white bitch with a big back, because he also always made fun of how big my back was.
Well, it was 15 pounds bigger. Anyway.
He's like, your big ass back has made it so none of you fucking stupid ass Cal Poly kids can even read that menu. There's a menu on
They have
the
all
wall.
the good Mexican
They have
food here.
all of the things. But at that point, I was like, it doesn't change. Veggie burrito.
I still just want a veggie burrito.
I just want a veggie burrito.
with no meat,
Beans.
beans, cheese,
Rice, cheese.
Right.
Salsa.
salsa. You want cilantro onions? No,
I did. I liked cilantro.
no
and
cilantro
onions.
onions. So the funny part is we've gone back, and that place is closed now. But we've gone back in the past, and now we like go back like that. You want that memory and like that taste bud, like just takes you back to Cal Poly, and you're just like, God, this is the plainest, lamest fucking
But-
burrito
okay,
you could
but
ever have.
it's
Only our fault. It's how we ordered it,
right. But
but it does take you back.
in like if I'm just listening to my palate, I'm like, oh my god, only a high 19-year-old would eat this and like this, right? Like I'm just like it's
It was also
plain.
fucking carved up the
Oh, yeah.
ass.
Yeah, it's all carbs. And so if I'm listening to my 19-year-old palate, yes, I'm like, this is plain, this is, but if I'm listening to nostalgia, oh God, it's so good. There's nothing better.
Remember Reggie Burritos from TA's?
Yeah, no, it's so good. It's just a wave of nostalgia and just youth. And I mean, I do leave there and think like, I guess I got to go to my mom's house early for Christmas and get those bigger pairs of jeans. But
It's just mom looking out for you, She saw you didn't fit those jeans.
so we went back so when we were in San Luis Obispo, there were 2 TAs in Slow, 1 in Atascadero, and
Yeah.
1 in Pismo.
Yep.
And slowly over the years, like over a 20-year span, we watched them close one after the other. I
Yes.
think it got down to
It
like
seemed like Pismo was the last one.
either Pismo or
Maybe
Atascadero.
Atascadero.
Well, no, Atascadero changed ownership. It was like instead of Tio Alberto, it was like
It was Primo Alberto's.
yeah, I know. Yeah, it was like still connected. There was like a family breakup or something. So the
Right.
recipe
There was a
the
quinceanera,
same.
shit went down, and they had to fucking break the whole thing up.
So it had a different name, but it still tasted the same. But then it went down, and then the Pismo one is now like a juice bar or something. Like I cry every single time we walk by there.
Now, full disclosure, because we talk about this, you used to be able to go to the Pismo Beach TAs, and you could get the Santa Maria Sun there, and you could read Man Overboard while enjoying
A
a
TA's burrito.
Yeah, that was just a pretty dope thing.
But okay, so here's the insider secret. So if you were at Cal Poly or just in San Luis Obispo at Cuesta or just in San,
In
just
the
passing through,
mid-90s,
in the mid '90s,
Mid-90s, punk rock surfer scene.
if you're a TA's aficionado, or if you remember it and you want that nostalgic taste,
It still exists.
there's a place in Grover Beach. It's called Taco Acapulco's.
Still TAs, y'all.
Still TA's. Taco de Acapulco's.
Oh, TDAs.
TDA's, but still TA's. I mean, like, you don't put the
You don't worry about the day.
yeah. And it's in Grover Beach, and it's I mean, I don't know if it's like the same owner or connection, or if it's just an old Cal Poly kid just recreating it, but it is fucking TAs.
Fucking genius.
Even the burritos are named the same. They have a veggie burrito.
We were down in Avila camping recently. We were trying to go there, but they were closed.
Oh yeah, closed on Mondays.
Sundays?
Closed on Sundays.
Whatever day it was, we couldn't get there.
Closed on Sundays.
Yes, awesome. I do miss TAs very much. Certainly wasn't very good for our bodies at the time. We all got fat there.
But now you order ranch waters like that.
I do. I still think I have some sort of power over people, which doesn't really work.
Okay, so did I fuck up when I said Blanco? Are you a Reposado man?
Yeah, so I like Blanco and Nejo Reposados. I shouldn't have blown up Patron. I drink Patron too. I am a bit of a tequila snob. Recently, I've been gifted some very, very high-end bottles by some great friends of mine who have been kind enough to give me ridiculously expensive bottles of tequila, and sort of one of those things where when you drink it, you're like, oh man, like this is worth every penny that they charge you for these bottles. Like it's a $300, $400 bottle of tequila, and it tastes really good. So I've gotten a little bit snobby about it. But recently I've been kind of into, I think it's Kendall Jenner's tequila, 818, which is really good too. So it's good. I recently got upsold on some 1794, I don't know what the fuck it was, Don Julio at a bar, and overpaid for that a little bit.
That was stupid.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. So anyways, I haven't overpaid for it.
For the record, I drank 2 Bud Lights.
No, $14.92 Don Julio.
I drank 2 Bud Lights for $6. So my Bud Lights were $3 each. Now you can't buy a $3 Bud Light. They do like a twofer. Like you buy one, you get the second one.
Yeah.
Anyways, I drank 2 Bud Lights for under $6. I could have been under there for $8 and still been considered like a good tipper.
Yeah.
33% tip.
Yep.
You had a $60 shot during happy hour.
I did, yes.
Of Don Julio,
$14.92.
$14.92.
Yeah. So lesson learned. It's funny because when I order it too, she's like, "You want that? Sure. Are you sure you want that?" I go, "Listen, hun, I know what I'm quite the tequila aficionado. I know what I want, so give it to me." So the Man of Steel. This is about yoga. My first trip into the yoga gym or studio, as you want to say, it was not great. In the story, I talk about my favorite pose, which is where you just lay on your back and die at the end of the deal.
Oh yeah, no. When you read the story,
that pose actually has.
Yeah, you were upset that you left this out. So
yeah,
say
I
it
fucked
now.
it up.
Build it up.
I was trying to.
But I'm
pumped. Get to the fucking punchline.
Here it comes. What's that pose called when you lay on your back like a dead guy?
It's called the corpse pose. It's my favorite pose. I'm just gonna say it right now. I'm like, can we just do the corpse pose? Can we just do the corpse pose? That particular yogi, she would you would lay in the corpse pose and you would close your eyes and you would just relax, and she would run around with like this kind of like some kind of oil. I had like a lot of, it was very scenty, and she put it on your wrist.
Patchouli?
I don't know. It wasn't patchouli, just some sort of scented oil. And it was like a nice little treat. Like you were touched by your instructor and you smelled it, and you went home and you smelled it, and it made you think about the session, and very relaxing. And so I'm a proponent of yoga. I've done a bunch of different yoga. Some has not gone well for me. Sanyasin I can't do it. I've done hot yoga. I've done gym yoga.
What's Sanyasin?
So basically Sanyasin is an hour-long session. It's always the same. So it's a certain set of like breathing exercises and very, very, I thought, challenging yoga poses under heat.
No corpse pose.
No, we never got to that.
Okay.
It was hard. I also did yoga for stiff guys when I went to a gym.
Oh, and then you found out stiff like had a whole new meaning.
Well, it was a dude and another dude and me, right. And I felt like
stiff,
I was
stiff gay dude. Gay dudes with stiffies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to assume they were gay, but it seemed like I was in a date it was the third wheel of a date.
Yeah.
And the interesting part was the instructor was really trying to help me out. He's like, "Oh, I'm super stiff. Like I came to yoga for stiff dudes. I can't really bend." And he's like, let's try this. And he's bending. He's like, "Dude," he's like, you are not limber at all." I'm like, "I know. I'm telling you. Like, thank you for recognizing it. I can't move." He was like trying to really pull me. And then like the other student in there just seemed like he was more interested in the instructor. And I was like, I'm very slow with the gaydar. I'm like, oh.
So he was like, "Oh, I'm really stiff too. Like, come, like,
yeah, rub on me, dude.
Out. Yeah.
But the instructor was indifferent to both of us. He was just trying to do his job. He was just doing his job. He's just the dude doing his job.
Oh man.
He was just the dude doing his job, and there was a dude in there who wanted his affection, and there was the dude in there who just wanted to be pulled on a bit, not sexually. And then, so ultimately, I was like, I don't think. So I went to I've been to probably 6 or 7 different yoga studios trying to find the right vibe.
Yeah.
You know, I went to one recently. There was a lot of chanting, a lot of guitar playing, and it got kind of crazy. So I haven't found the perfect studio yet. I'm looking for a little bit of centering, meditation, some good poses. I'm not looking for a lot of cardio in there because I've been to some yoga where, like, it's an exercise. It's like you're doing push-ups and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it's not really. It's more gym-based.
No,
yoga.
I'm also looking for a certain thing out of my yoga. Like, tell us again what you're looking for, or just go in like to a little more detail. Like, what are you looking for out of your yoga? And then I'll tell you. Like, I'm also having a hard time finding the right studio. I'll tell you what I'm looking for.
Well, I think the best studio for you and me is probably our bed. Let's just go in there and do some yoga poses together.
Oh no, you're not in my yoga studio.
Oh, darn.
I mean,
Let me guess. Yours is taught by Chris Hemsworth.
no, mine like
Magic Mike.
no. You go there and you eat hot Cheetos, but your fingers don't get dirty. Could you imagine? Like,
This sounds fantastic.
right? Yeah, and then someone like throws gummy worms at you, and you just sort of like catch them in your mouth. It's kind of like a fun game.
Hot Cheetos with catching mouth. Okay.
Well,
yeah.
just
Gummy worms.
just to lighten it up a little bit, like some good music,
Right.
comfy clothes, like not yoga pants. I personally don't think yoga pants are comfy. So I'm looking for a yoga studio where I'm not actually expected to wear yoga pants because they just go up my ass. Like, let me just wear some old school sweats with like the drawstring. You know what I mean? Maybe some slippers,
Right.
some good music, good laughs, and
Good laughs.
and I get in shape and I lose weight.
So you eat, you laugh,
Yeah.
you love.
Now, I mean, I hadn't thought about Chris Hemsworth, but like if he's on the table, like
If he's the
I'll
one
take
throwing the
it.
gummy worms,
Yeah.
your mouth's wide open.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Like he's funny.
He is a very funny.
It should be criminal to be like that good looking and that funny.
Well, same with Magic Mike. He's just fucking
funny.
charming and good looking and funny.
Yeah. I mean,
making it
look,
difficult
I
for
just
me.
want it to go down on the record. Like, none of these things were included in my yoga studio, and now they are because you brought them in. But that's just funny. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's just like, what if Chris Hemsworth was like, oh, she caught it. Like, I got 2 points. And then Channing is like, oh, damn it. Like, I overthrew it and I have 0 points. And then we all just laugh. And then I just eat some hot Cheetos.
This sounds like the next Hollywood blockbuster that every woman in America will fucking stand in the line in the rain to go see as fast as they fucking
And
can.
it's called the perfect yoga workout.
Yeah.
And you lose weight while you do it.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
Maybe a
This is
slurpee machine.
this is magic in a bottle, dude. Magic Mike in a bottle.
Anyways, when I find that yoga studio, I will do the yoga.
Full disclosure, you've never done yoga. You've never been in it.
Well, I haven't found the right studio.
Right, but you've never done it.
No, I call ahead and I say, how are the hot Cheetos? And they say,
What?
what? Yeah.
Like, who's the instructor? Is it Chris? Like, no, it's Danny.
And then I say,
Like, Danny the guy? Danny the girl?
and then I say, this is not the studio for me. But I do call around and I ask.
So let's talk about studios. One time I made the mistake of going to an Orange Theory in Reading and checking it out with
Now
you.
that's not yoga.
And I know it's not, but I was looking for a studio to work out in, and I came back in. You were with me, and I was like, man, I was kind of digging the vibe in there, and then you got a little pissy about it.
There was a weird point in our marriage because you were saying to me, I have to move to Reading for my career. You have to stay in Fresno for your career. And I was like on Google Maps going, that's a 5-hour drive, dude. Like, we're going to be 5 hours apart. And you're like, we can do it. We're good. We're solid. So I'm like, okay. I don't believe that, but okay. So then we go to Reading to like scout a place for you to live. Like, let's find you a place to live. And you're like, well, I need a place to go to my cult.
The Cult of Orange Theory.
Let me check out this cult. So we go, well, and everywhere we go in Reading, we don't dig the vibe. Like, we walked out of a Red Robin for reals. Like, the Red Robin host was like, follow me this way. And we found an
We didn't
exit
walk out of
door.
it. We ditched the host while she was
We
carrying our
ducked
menus
out.
to a table.
Yeah.
and
No, we
ran out.
found an exit door and we left. That's how much we liked Reading. So then you're like, oh, I got to go check out the Orange Theory. I'm just like, fuck. Like, we don't like the Red Robin. Like, we're not going to like the Orange Theory. And then we walk into the Orange Theory and there's like 6 chicks all between the ages of 22 and 27 in yoga pants. I'm like, this ain't no yoga studio. Why are y'all wearing yoga pants between the ages of 22 and 27? And they're just like stoked and hyped that they're going to get a new customer. And you guys are doing like your weird cultish like high fives. And you guys are like talking about like hit workouts and I don't know, Orange Theories and colors and armbands, and I'm just like, what the fuck? All I can see is women way younger than me, super fit in yoga pants. You're just getting excited, and then you walk out, and I'm just feeling like so insecure because we're gonna be separated by 5 hours, and I don't even know how many miles that is. 400 miles or 800 miles or 6,000 miles.
None of those amounts of miles.
And 5,000, and you're not even
300 miles.
You're not even singing the song like that. You'll walk 5,000 miles to be with me. You're just like, yeah, I'm digging the vibe in there. Like, this is all gonna work out. I love this. I'm gonna be in Reading, living my best life with these chicks. This is all gonna work out.
I left the studio, and all I said was these words. I just walked out there. I'm like, yeah, I was kind of digging the vibe in there.
No, you didn't say I was digging. You like clapped your hands and you're like, I'm digging the vibe in there. And then your face said, this is all going to work out with you 5,000 miles away. And I will not walk 5,000. And I know you hate it when I sing on the podcast, so I'm not going to sing. But I hope every single person right now has in their head that they would walk 5,000 miles.
I would walk 500
miles. Was it 500?
I would walk 500 more.
Either way.
It's no point. I'm telling you right now, it's 500 miles.
You weren't willing to walk any miles to see me. You were trying to drive in your car as fast as you could away from me to Reading because you were digging the vibe and the Orange Theory. And I looked at you and I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
You did say that to me. I'm like, I was digging the vibe in there. You looked at me and you go, are you fucking kidding me right now? And I was like, what?
And I didn't say it like that. Like, okay, according to you, you said, I was kind of digging the vibe. According to you, I said, are you fucking kidding me? The truth is, you said with the clap, I'm digging the vibe in there. And I said sarcastically, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, not mean or cruel, just like a wife of 25 years just communicating in a calm, sarcastic way. And then I was like, who wouldn't dig the vibe in there? Like, can you just tone it down like a notch? Like a little. Can you just respect the distance and tone it down a notch? Because I'm a healthy, calm communicator. You're looking at me right now like I've never told bigger lies.
No. I think you're telling the truth. I'm just saying, like, I can appreciate the situation you were in where, like, you're going to be away from me, blah, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter was I was a, 47-year-old overweight dude who just wanted to go get some cardio in. Like, those girls were not interested in me. I was not interested in them. It was very, contractual. Like, go work out, get your orange flats, and get out of there.
100% true.
Yeah.
100%. Like, look at in marriage, each one of us exists in two realities, right? Like, when you get married, like, this should be part of your vows. When you get married, you exist in two realities. You exist in, like, the logical, reasonable, real world. You're 47 years old. They're just doing their job. They're not, like, you look like every other fucking dude that walks in. Like, as soon as you leave, they don't even remember your name or not. Like, there's nothing there, right?
Right.
Like, that's the real world that we exist in. But in marriage, we also exist in this alternate reality. And the alternate reality is where Sara and Rob stand outside of the Orange Theory, and both of them believe that you could fuck those girls. You believe
I could do it. I'm just not going to.
You believe you could.
It's a moral choice,
and you
I'm
might
gonna make the right choice.
But you're gonna make the right choice.
Definitely fuck these girls. These girls want to fuck, but I won't fuck them.
And
I love my wife.
And I believe that you will. And that's the alternate reality that exists, and that is marriage. And we have to fucking figure that shit out, like, as married people. And there's no fucking.
Well, if it makes you feel better,
for that.
I had a stroke at Orange Theory running on the treadmill, so joke's on me. I guess I wasn't really digging the fucking vibe in there, was I?
That does not make me feel better.
Well, it did happen.
And you know what? They didn't fucking call me.
They didn't.
They didn't
They're
fucking
like,
call me.
should we call his wife or his girlfriend? Like, fuck, what are we going to do here?
No one fucking called.
Is Mandy going to go to the fucking hospital with him? We can call his wife. This is a complicated situation. They just chose not to call you.
How to fucking guess where you were. Now, luckily, your buddy Keith called me. But
because Keith digs a vibe there too.
But I don't feel secure. Like, what happens when you're at Orange Theory and you have a stroke and Keith's not there? Like, is anyone gonna fucking call me, or do I just have to play like guess where my husband is?
He's either at Orange Theory, in Mandy's bedroom, or the hospital.
Right.
Either way, I'm gonna end up in the hospital.
Two realities.
Two parallel realities.
Yeah.
I appreciate your jealousy and security, because it really just means that you love me.
Yes, that's what love is.
Love is just a little bit of jealousy, insecurity, and death. You may kill me.
Can I just tell you how I fucked up our son, though?
Oh, yeah. This is your show.
Okay.
Tell us how you fucked up our son. Obviously, I don't care about that. I mean, I was really enjoying talking about women in yoga pants, but let's get to our son and how he's fucked up.
Okay, so this is our relationship. This is our banter. This is our back and forth. This is how we communicate. You know what I mean? And
You and me, or you and our son?
you and me. This
Oh.
would be real fucking unnatural if I communicated with our son like this.
Gotcha.
But our son was raised by two parents who, and specifically a mother who expresses her love this way. You know what I mean?
Well, we've always said that raising our kids with sarcasm was the best parenting choice.
Yes. And just modeling this kind of relationship. So he is, you know this story. He's come home from college and he has a girlfriend and we adore her. She's sweet as can be. He's probably like 19 or 20.
Loved her.
And he's been with her he's probably like 20, and at this point they've been together for about a year and a half. They did a semester abroad together, so they lived together in England, and now he's home for the summer and he's working and he's brought her home and she's living with
This
us.
sounds like the widest fucking family in the world.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay. So he comes home from work. So she's come home to his house to just be in Fresno for the summer. They went to Long Beach together. And she's like, okay, I'll go suffer in Fresno.
Again, this is some white people shit.
And he's off. God damn it.
Let's go to college in Long Beach. Let's just do a fucking semester abroad in England.
Okay, more white people shit. He's off at his lifeguarding job.
More white people shit. This is so fucking white.
Okay, so he's at his life.
He drove his Mustang to his lifeguarding job.
So
I'm not making any of this up.
He comes home in his Mustang from his lifeguarding job, and his girlfriend's been hanging out with me, and we've been playing Wordle and watching Game of Thrones together.
It wasn't Wordle. That wasn't out yet.
No, it was Words with Friends.
Yeah, Words with Friends.
And she used to kick my ass. So we would actually sit side by side in the living room, like across from each other, and play Words with Friends. Like we could have just gone out a Scrabble board. But anyways, so Gus comes home and Gus starts talking about this lifeguard girl who is kind of like, you know, making passes at him. And he's actively trying to antagonize and make his girlfriend jealous, like right in front of me. And I'm just listening to it. And I'm like,
what are you doing, dude?
this is so toxic. Like,
No,
why are you
bro.
doing this? And she's so chill and she's like not getting jealous. She's not taking the bait. And so the more she doesn't take the bait, the more he goes for it.
He's
you know?
ramping it up.
And I'm just like this innocent bystander listening to this. And so finally I've had enough. I'm like, who are you? This is not the man that I raised. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to upset your girlfriend? Why are you trying to make her jealous? She's so strong and confident. I love her. She's not taking the bait. Like,
Just
why?
need this shit, bro.
I just insert I'm like, if you're under my roof, I'm going to insert myself. I'm going to, fucking tell you this is wrong. So then he looks at me and this is, this is one of those, do you ever have those moments as a parent where you're so ashamed and so proud at the same time?
Yeah, oh yeah. But mostly from soapbox derby racing. Yes.
Okay. So I'm so ashamed of my behavior, but I'm also like, oh, goddamn, that's fucking cool that you got that from me.
Yeah, I won a lot of soapbox derby
Wow,
races
yeah.
as a crew chief, but
So
did it in an unethical way.
he looks at me and he says, I'm sorry, Mom. You raised me to believe that if a woman doesn't threaten to keep my balls in the freezer, she doesn't really love me. He really said that. And I was like, oh, fair enough. So then I'm looking at her and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? The way he's talking to you, the way he's talking about this fucking girl at work, you put his fucking balls in the freezer before you let him go back to work tomorrow.
Yeah, that's healthy.
I started this. I started this by saying, do you want to know how I fucked up our kid?
Yeah, or our marriage.
Oh, this is a good marriage.
Oh, that's working great for you. I mean, I had a stroke fucking dealing with your shit, trying to survive this shit.
You were on the treadmill? I wasn't there. That was mean.
What I just said was mean?
Yeah, that was hurtful. I am not the reason of your stroke.
You do not want to hear that. You do not want to hear that you've ever caused any stress in my life.
Two realities exist in every marriage.
That's why we call it Sara Town.
Okay.
Oh, it's not very funny on the podcast now, is it? Are we checking in on some feelings you got there, Mrs. Kreider?
Like,
She's like, no, fuck you.
it wouldn't be funny on the podcast or not on the pod. Like, we'll talk later.
Don't, now it's now been put on notice. On the air, put on notice. This will be discussed ad nauseum later.
I mean, okay, you're weaponizing, like, A physical ailment. Like, you're actually making me wish that I had a physical ailment. I wish I could, like, a physical ailment. I wish I could say ailment, sorry. Like, I wish I could say physical ailment. Like, that, just those words. It would be nice to be able to get those out. But once I could say them, you're making me wish that I had a physical ailment just so I could weaponize it against you and say it's your fault.
No, that's not healthy.
I know, but when you say, like, I'm the cause of your stroke, or when you've said to me before, like, the only thing that gives me high blood pressure is you. Like, it's fucking mean and cruel. It's also bullshit. Like, here's the thing, is you hook yourself up to a blood pressure cuff every morning and every night, and you take your blood pressure, and I have empirical data written in a notebook in your handwriting with, like, the timestamp, like, 9/17, or September 17th, 8 p.m., 125/78. Like, you have it all written down. I've looked. It's not me. It's not me. So you say it to me. You say, you're the reason my blood pressure is high. And I'm like, you just took your blood pressure 5 seconds ago. I was in the room. It wasn't high. It's not me. So it's cute that you say that. It's fucking mean. But as soon as you started keeping the data on it, you kind of lost the fight.
Oh, I see. No, I'm definitely not going to say that you were the cause of any high blood pressure I have. I have a very stressful job.
You just said I was the cause of your stroke. Play it back.
I said that you may have contributed to. There are different factors. That there are certain situations in my life where I don't think that you lowered my blood pressure. You didn't encourage me to calm down. Sometimes I come home, I'm pretty Rob-centric. I love you, baby.
I love you too.
All right.
All I got is ovarian cysts. You're the cause. You contributed to my ovarian.
I probably
cysts.
did.
Oh my God!
I have to assume I did.
You're gonna turn this into some kind of like big dick thing. Like big dicks do not cause ovarian cysts.
Well, thank God, because if you had a lot of those, I'd be looking for somebody else because I don't have a big dick. So I'd be like, we got to speak here to this. What's up with that?
All right, we were wrapping it up. It's been 37 minutes.
Well, every show I like to end with talks about dick. So you covered it.
Did
went
I?
right to the big dick. Dick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's my yoga studio.
Cheers.
And that was Last Call. You did it. You survived an episode of Stories and Cocktails. But did Rob or Sarah's liver survive the show? I don't know. Tune into the next episode to find out, to enjoy some more stories and some more cocktails. By the way, if you want to support the debauchery of the show, then buy the hosts their next round by Venmoing a couple of gold doubloons at Stories and Cocktails. Back in the day, a gold doubloon was only $4 Spanish. Who knew? Well, folks, I'll be right here behind the bar, cleaning the glassware and awaiting your return to the Stories and Cocktails podcast. Cheerio, friends.